Ladies and gentlemen, I am your soul. The game is Star Trek Online. It is the 17th of April 2014, and welcome once again to the Tribble Timewarp for Season 9. We'll start off with a few bits and pieces from the patch notes. Most interestingly, the planet killer in both the Dyson Sphere Battlezone and Viscous Cycle is no longer immune to spatial anomalies such as Gravity Well and Tychon's Rift. There is a catch, of course. The downside is that it will now be more reliably using its beam attacks. So, good news, science guys, bad news, just about everybody. Keep those defensive cooldowns handy. In addition, bioplasmic torpedoes can now be cleansed with hazard emitters and engineering team, specifically the maneuverability debuff can be cleansed, and it no longer stacks with the maneuverability debuff from fluidic puddles, so no more getting completely and utterly bogged down in those puddles if you get hit by torpedoes at the same time. In addition, heavy bioplasmic torpedoes are now dealing less impact. That doesn't mean you can be careless about them. It's still a bad idea to get hit by any kind of heavy plasma torpedo, but it's now a little less lethal than it was. Ground ensigns and lieutenants have had their damage resistance upped and will now activate their abilities more quickly in combat. You might actually have to treat the little guys with a bit of respect at this stage. And because the tier 10 and 11 Omega sets are going away, if you've got your accolade in progress, then hey, you're going to get it automatically completed, and you'll get the appropriate titles when you log in after patch day. However, if you haven't got these started, might be an idea to get them started, because you will not be able to get these accolades and titles once Season 9 hits. So, maybe something to get going on holodeck, and I might even take my own advice for once. In addition, Omega weapons training has been removed. There is now a new tier ability called, if I can find it, Space Reputation, Omega Kinetic Shearing. This is an interesting one. Every kinetic torpedo and mine hit will do an additional 40% of the damage over 6 seconds as a shield penetrating DOT. Bear in mind that this is damage done to the hull. So at this point, you basically want to make sure your torpedoes are hitting bare hull. This was always kind of the case, but it's a little more than it used to be now. So we'll just plug in the rest of the Omega stuff. In fact, we'll plug in everything. Oh, wait, of course, 4 on the ground, 4 in space. Can't have both. However, it'll be interesting to see what people do when they start stacking these. It's worth noting that according to the patch notes, you can only stack up to 3 of these dots, and each dot's value is calculated based on the projectile that triggered it. However, it is a science-type debuff and a hazard, so hazard emitters and the usual suspects will get rid of these debuffs. Yet another reason to start stacking hazard emitters, even if you're only running 25 auxiliary power and normally couldn't give a rat's about it. However, that is worth mentioning. Omega Kinetic Shearing, probably worth mucking about with in new builds. For the meat of the event, this is an older version of Yuzzel that I've had lurking around on Tribble for a while, so it was caught by the episode reset for the Borg Advance, as a couple of you pointed out in my last Time Warp's comments, because the Yuzzel version that I used in that episode was a new transfer. It missed the reset, and therefore couldn't get the original playthrough rewards. This version, however, can, so we're going to start off with where angels fear to tread today. Captain Martin is our contact with Task Force Omega again, and we're heading over to the Burgess system. So it looks like this may very well be a reprise of the asset recovery mission on holodeck, and, well, we'll see. Certainly there are some nice rewards. Anti-proton Capex 2 plasma capacity X2. That is going to be very nice if you're leveling up. Of course, if you're not level 50, it will, I believe, be reduced in mark and potency correspondingly. So, we are heading to the Burgess system. Let's get going. Also worth noting, by the way, that I'm pretty certain my anti-Borg phasers had their Borg mod replaced with a damage mod, which is a bit of a pain, but we will see where that takes us. I was hoping it wouldn't be the case, but hey, unfair advantage and all that. Still, to the Gamma Orionis block. And here we are. Everything's a happy, healthy shade of green. I haven't been here in a while. Okay, so just quickly check everything. Yeah, I think, yeah, a lot of this was based on my old Dyson set. I do still have frequency remodulators, don't I? This would be a bad moment to discover that I can't actually hurt the Borg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just a thought, Cryptic, if you haven't already dealt with this, the report to Gamma Orionis mission might be a good moment to mention frequency remodulators and why you need them. After all, it might cause problems if people have their first experience with the Borgs being, oh wait, my phasers are suddenly useless. On the other hand, it would restore their, oh yeah, I probably ought to be taking the Borg seriously moment. So, Shriss gets 1. Who else is on the team at this point? Lyasara, Mare, and Talez. So, Talez... Ooh, wait. Where did your gear go? I have 1. That does not go there. Of course it... No, you're right, it doesn't go there, does it? Of course, I've got auto equip these days, don't I? Mako armor 10, and... Where did my Mako battle rifle 11 go? There we are, he's got that, which means I'm running Dyson Experimental, and we'll go for the Nukara Cryo as the secondary there. So, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. We'll fix the rest as we go. Mare, frequency remod, and Lyasara, where do we put her? Frequency remod. Okay, 1, 3, 4, 5, 1, 3, 5. Don't really have time to check the rest of it at the moment. Let's just get going. Anyhow, where angels fear to tread, so... What's going on? Romulan Empire, eh? Not Romulan Republic. The RNA, of course, made its appearance in, if memory serves, our playthrough in the last time warp, didn't it? Yes, in fact it did, it did. So, fairly easily dealt with. And we'll just get rid of that plasma burn. See. And there's the Omega Kinetic Shearing. The other thing I'm interested in is whether or not they are... Whoa! Okay. Bit of a nasty surprise there. The other thing I'm interested in is whether or not the kinetic debuff is going to take the last 3 hits you take, or whether it just takes the first 3 hits and then waits for a stack to clear. Anyhow. Let's just break targeting for a second. Disable everything but the torpedo. Come on. Auto fire off. This is not necessarily a wise idea at the best of times, but... Okay, I think we've got everything else offline. In fact, we have... Come on, why is that firing? Okay, so we have torpedo away. So that's 1. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I don't actually have the time to stack it up anyway. Boom. Okay, Borg Cube still makes a bit of a bang when it goes in. So we'll just quickly patch up. So we need to board the RNA. Or at least beam aboard it, which is not quite the same thing.
This is the IRW RNA. My ship has been attacked and disabled by the Borg. My crew are being assimilated. The self-destruct is offline. I have retreated with my surviving officers to the main science lab. If you can hear this, I formally request assistance. If there is no one who can respond to this message, then may we die with honor.
I really hope you've got one of those old nukes around. Anyway, we're going aboard. Let's see what they've done to the place. The RWRNA. Wow, the Borg didn't hang about, did they?
Borg drones have beamed aboard the RNA and are attempting to assimilate my crew. Several of us have barricaded ourselves in the science lab. We need your assistance to prevent our ship from being assimilated and to save the rest of the crew.
Well, we might be able to give them a quick death, but that'll be the limit of it. Okay. Romulan plus Borg. Interesting combination of decor. Let's get moving. So, what have we got on the map? Okay, it looks fairly linear with a couple of side paths. Well, only one thing for it. Let's see what we get.
To adopt energy weapons in order to use energy weapons effectively against them. Equip yourself and your bridge officers with frequency remodulators. There is a supply of them not far from your current position.
Bingo, there's the tutorial. There is a supply of them. And here's the supply. So, frequency remodulators, we have 5 in the box. Perfect. So that's that dealt with. Now the question is, how are we going to get this mission reminding us? The answer is we're not. It's going to plow them straight in. There we go. Adapted. I can't help but think that it would have been more interesting to have reprised the scene from First Contact where they first meet the Borg drones walking down the corridor, and they just put the weapons up and let the drones walk past. However, that's just me. Also, perhaps another reminder there, having one of your bridge officers just yell, they've adapted, use your remodulator. Still, beginning at the ownage. There we go. Right, so, Smulans, hi guys. Are you going to help me? No, fine. Okay, so where next? Up here, I think.
Lock down the passage ahead. Use the console in sickbay to override the security protocols.
Yeah, I don't think it's a sick bay anymore somehow. Anyhow, let's... Adapted. Oh. Go on, don't let them get close. In fact, just take it down. Nice, newly assimilated Romulan drone model there, by the way. And there's a reminder that the door is locked, and the Borg really didn't waste any time assimilating this place, did they? Release the lockout.
The Borg have disabled the force fields guarding the science lab. Managed.
Yes, we're on our way. After we've looted the place. There we go. And let's keep moving. Are we going to be too late? Probably the case. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, right. Save Romulan Republic prisoners. That's a little different. Mission has you going straight to the lab in its instructions, not breaking these guys out. Hi, guys.
Thank you so much for saving us. The Del Shiar were using this as test subjects in their experiments. Borg technology. Only a few of us survived their investigations. I know that they'll do anything to preserve their empire. And I've seen with my own eyes what they and the Ilachi did to the outlying colonies. But I didn't think they would be this cruel to their own people.
Ah, of course. So Romulan Republic versus Romulan Star Empire. It's worth noting this is an IRW ship, not a RW ship. Just something to check. Where are we in the mission progress here? Romulan mystery, yep, so we've met the Republic at this stage. Okay, moving on. Save Romulan Republic prisoners. Hopefully this door will now open. Yes, it does. Okay, and we've got to go around. Come on. There we go. Is Talers using his remodulator? Considering that's a Mako battle rifle he's using, there's not a lot of damage coming out here. We're actually getting quite rapid adaptation here from weapons. Okay, and remodulate again. I'm kind of curious to see whether or not the bridge officer AI is actually smart enough to use the remodulator, because if they aren't, then A, that's broken because they used to be able to do it, and B, it's kind of a balance problem. Let's keep moving on. Again, nice mix of Romulan and Borg interiors here. We'll take it right here. The question is, do we really want to save these guys? Well, let's see.
Borg drones incoming. Destroy them before they reach the research equipment.
Yes, yes, yes. Whoa! Nice warning, guys. Right, focus fire on that tactical drone. And then we'll just adapt quickly. Now, let's just see if they go for their frequency remodulators, because I want to see how much damage they're doing. 115, 1. No, they are remodulating. Fine. That's just me being paranoid then. Okay. Quickly pull Mare up. Oh boy. Run away! And down he goes. Okay, keep this coming. And they've adapted again. Remodulate. What it might also be worth mentioning in this is that since the Borg adapt after a certain number of hits, that using slow, big hitting weapons is generally more effective than using quick, light hitting ones. However, still hasn't adapted, so we'll just keep this coming, and there it goes. Oh, we have another wave coming in immediately. This is actually pretty decently paced, all things considered. Adapted and modulate. 3, 4. This is why you want Mako armor, because it has the integrated remodulator, and if memory serves, it's also a bit quicker. Pour it on. It's adapted. Modulate again, and we're good. Oh, another wave. How many of these guys are there? Remodulate. There we go. And they're dealt with.
No further Borg presence aboard. Thank you for your aid, but I must ask you to return to your ship at once. Our research here is critical to the survival of the Romulan Star Empire. I cannot share these secrets, even with our rescuers.
And now the political tensions kick up. What are you trying to hide? We're going to poke around anyway. After all, we've got bigger guns than you have. Besides, we already know. We kind of busted them out from the sick bay. So that's one. And here's the other one. You're trying to reverse engineer Borg tech, aren't you? Two.
We are studying salvaged Borg devices. Bear in mind that this technology is now the sovereign property of the Romulan Star Empire.
Yeah.
Engineers tell me that our engines are online, so your further presence aboard my ship is neither necessary nor desirable. For your own safety, I advise you to leave and to forget what you have seen here.
Well, we'll certainly leave. I don't know about the forget bit. Still, let's see.
Long-range sensors show a Borg squadron approaching at speed. Essential repairs to our singularity drive are almost complete. If you can occupy the Borg and give us the time we need, I will overlook your intrusion on our classified research.
Okay, so I believe she said when we left the away mission that their engines were in fact back online. I suppose we could argue that was their impulse drive and not their singularity core, but we have three options. We can be nice. We can say, get your engines running, we'll fight the Borg. Or we can be, you know what, Borg tech's too dangerous, we can't let you have it. Or it's just a case of, you know what, we're gonna take it. Energize. We can be really just a little bit dickish. Oh, let's be nice about this. Get your engines running. Yes, I won't regret that next week, honest. Let's get things going. Besides, it's not really discretion if we know they have it. So... boom. Now all we have to do is survive the Borg Armada. Oh boy. What state's the Arran in? Not great. Let's just quickly patch it up. Also get their shields online as well. Okay, their starboard and our shields are actually deliberately offline. Those aren't coming back, which is interesting.
Our singularity drive is online. We are responding to a distress call from an IRW RNA. Normally we wouldn't provide assistance to the Tal Shiar, but the Borg are a threat to all of us. However, you appear to have things well in hand. Do you require assistance?
Yes, I have a Borg fleet inbound and about to shove themselves down my throat. And the Tal Shiar have legged it. Ungrateful little sods. Probably should have nicked that Republic and Borg tech when we had the chance. So, let's get going. So that's one. That cube went down surprisingly fast. What have these cubes got by way of health? 80,000. Okay, no wonder it folded a bit quickly. Round again. Delan's taking a beating, so we'll just patch it up. And then we'll show them how it's done. Boom. And that's the end of where angels fear to tread. So, fairly basic ground space scene setup. Interesting that the Tal Shiar made an appearance, but that ties into some of their earlier missions, most notably Project Nightingale. How could we tweak it? Well, there's not a lot that needs to be done. It's an introduction in many respects to this is how the Borg work. If it's been a while since you've seen First Contact or Voyager or the original TNG episodes. The only thing I'd really tweak, I suppose, is to make the explanation of the adapted mechanics a bit more in your face and coming from your bridge officers rather than the Tal Shiar. Borg adaptation is something that should be pretty well known about in universe, so it's kind of, yes, they've adapted, that's what that message means, that's when you use your frequency remodulators in the fight as an officer pop-up. It's probably going to be a good addition. Other than that, mission seems reasonably solid, and is a decently quick little blast. So let's get going. I have to wonder how your decision regarding the Tal Shiar's technology is going to knock on to the ending of the mission, but we shall see. I imagine it won't make a massive difference, since generally what happens in one mission doesn't carry over to the rest. It tends to be a purely internal matter, and the ungrateful little sods legged it anyway. Borg and the Tal Shiar. So let's just have the shield, and we'll take a quick look at the Gathering Darkness. The Borg nanovirus. They found a way to assimilate the whole planet, really. So we're going off to the Keswick system, and this is integrated targeting armor. Time. Yeah, why not? We've got enough time to have a quick go at this. Let's get going. We're heading to the Keswick system this time. Ought to be close by. This is just a quick hop to the north. If you could apply north in space. Lots of planets have a north, but I don't think sector blocks do. Come on. Hard over. One of these days I really ought to sink points into driver coil. Of course, back in the old days when we didn't have driver coil skill, you just dumped from impulse at 15k out and coasted in while the power levels came up. Usually it seems like a bit of a waste of skill points, but there are times like this when it's an actual kind of, well, maybe I should have sunk some points into it as a time saver. Anyhow, musings aside, welcome to the Keswick system. Welcome to the Keswick system. Okay, let's do a rezone and see what happens. No possible maps. This is Tribble. They only generally have one instance at a time. So we will transwarp to the Sirius sector, and then we'll take the gate to Gamma Orionis and force it to reload the sector that way. Zoink. Okay. Transwarp to Gamma Orionis, and as soon as the autopilot swings us round, there we go, slipstream, and off. Not too shabby. Okay. Interesting that I can only see the... Actually, no, that's not true. Medical Nanite Cloud is a ground power. Don't have the other active reputations for some reason. Yeah, why not? Creative, elusive... Weather Escort, Medical Vanguard... photonic capacitor. And what does this do? Doesn't really help. Well, I'd rather be lucky than good. Let's go for lucky. 3% crit chance on the ground. It's not a bad thing. And transport to Gamma Orionis. Let's see if forcing the sector block to reload will do the trick. Interesting that we had some new art there for Gamma Orionis. Now, the Keswick system. Are we going to get the entrance? No, we aren't. We've got the quest marker there, correctly tagged up, but it's not letting us enter the system. Let's toddle around a bit, see if we can get it somewhere else. Trying to think what else it could be. What was the previous mission? Gathering Darkness. That used to be asset recovery. Now, where was asset recovery? It's not in GC 447 because that's one of the Undine Arc. Ditto 2447. No, I'm pretty sure it was always the Keswick system, so I'm not sure why this isn't working, but we'll try Alini anyway. No, that doesn't want to know. And given the appalling turning rate this thing has at high warp, we'll probably swing by Tribble 47 just to be safe. And no. Air Force 2447 is actually Terradome, if that ever makes a comeback. The Noro system, honestly not sure if that's new or not, but you never know, it might be there. I think we are a little bit broken on the Gathering Darkness. Could always drop it and retake it, I suppose. Episodes. Borg Advance. Hail. Okay, I'm sure you need me to complete my mission. However, if I can't get into the star system, I kinda can't do anything. Siberan, of course, is the system for infected back in the old days. Quadra Sigma was Kittima Accord, if I remember correctly. This is awkward. Okay, well, we will dump a Gathering Darkness for the moment. So we'll drop that. Then we'll go for the episodes, Borg Advance, a Gathering Darkness, hail that, accept, double check the briefing, and accept the mission. So, a Gathering Darkness insertion, go to Keswick system. Course is laid. And we'll slipstream just to get there in a hurry. Ooh, other people on Tribble. Well, hey, hi guys. That doesn't happen very often. And no, we just can't get in there. I wonder what happens if we Borg Advance, if we skip this one. So that's that. Hell that, so we have the new assimilation, so we a little bit of spoil that, and we now have the Borg prosthetic weapons, tactical, medical, and maintenance. So some interesting options there. However, what I also want to do is that I'm going to dump the in-progress original playthrough, drop that, and then pick it up as a replay instead. My Angel's Fear to Tread, which I can't for some reason. It's picking up the fact that I haven't done it the first time through, which is an interesting touch. Usually it goes straight to replay. Gathering Darkness, accept, exit, and Well, that's broken in a new and interesting fashion. However, the fact that people appeared at Keswick does rather suggest that someone's found a way to do it. Let's try a different character. Okay, that. Switch to usual 1, who of course has got the credit and will therefore be taking it as an episode replay. Oh, that's a nice new screenshot. Not sure who nailed that one, but it's neatly done. And journal. I want episodes. Oh! I had those as replays 48 hours ago on this character. That's very interesting. I couldn't really do fluid dynamics without it, so we'll skip Angel's Fear to Tread, Hail a Gathering Darkness. Curiouser and curiouser. And let's just quickly head back into Gamma Orionis. Slipstream and go. No need to be subtle about this. Ooh, the Pellier block's pretty when it's got a mind to be. Anyhow. And 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we appear to be hosed. Oh dear. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up this episode of the Tribble Timewarp there. The Keswick system will have to wait, so if you have a bad case of Borg nanovirus, please hold the line, and remember to lop off any spontaneously growing prosthetics as they appear. Failing that, the nearest airlocks are on decks 5, 10, and 15, and you may consider that as a viable option. As another note, I will be streaming the Undine 5-mans, or at least attempting to, on Friday evening, that is the 18th of April. Plan is to get to them about 10:30 and I think it was 3:30 Pacific Daylight Time. Do the conversions in your own time zone, and that will be at twitch.tv/usual. Hopefully I'll see you either on the stream or here on Tribble at that time. Until then, all the next episode of the Time Warp, farewell.